First the backlash and then the backpedal. And now the University of Florida will allow 3 of its political science professors to serve as expert witnesses in a lawsuit challenging new state voting laws.
University administrators at first banned their participation. They called it against the state school's interest, and then they said outside pay for the professor's testimony was also against the rules. Then they reversed that too after a public outcry accusing the university of violating First Amendment rights and academic freedom, precious rights which have been upheld by the University of Florida for a long time.
Still, the UF faculty union is calling for a boycott. Its vice president is Dr. Meera Sitharam, who joins us now live from Gainesville. Good morning. Great to see you. Great to meet you. And thank you for weighing in with us today.
Hello.
Yeah, we appreciate your participation. Let's just say it at the outset. The University of Florida is the flagship university in the state of Florida, one of the best public universities, ranked among the best in the country. And its integrity was really put in question by this episode, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
A woman of few words. Let's delve a little deeper, Dr. Sitharam. There were some, admittedly, watching this from afar, which we are in South Florida, some mixed messaging from, it appears to be mixed messaging from the university at first, talking about asking these professors not to do this testimony because it would be not in the best interests of the university, maybe a conflict of interest. Then went on to talk about, well, it was about pay and outside pay. And now it reversed again and said, okay, it's fine, go ahead and do it, say what you want and get paid. What do you think was the cause of the reversal? Because from where we sit, it looked like it was the public backlash. It looked like a giant perception problem. What does it look like to you?
Yes, if they could have gotten away with it, they would have. So let me start with all the different things that have happened at the University of Florida since about March of 2020. So first there was a law that essentially said, citing supposed foreign interference, undue foreign interference in university research, and that intellectual property was being stolen, that all outside activities had to be reported in how shall I say, a way in which that policed outside activity of faculty members. Then I was part of the team that bargained for the union as part of our new collective bargaining agreement, the outside activities article, which clearly defined conflict of interest, which certainly did not define it the way they used the words when they denied this activity.
Well, can we? I don't mean to interrupt, but let's delve into a little bit about that, because you said they were trying to get away with something and they're defining conflict of interest. What do you think that the university is trying to get away with, and what is that conflict of interest?
The actual definition of conflict of interest is quite straightforward. We are public employees. We're not supposed to do any favors to people misusing or abusing our position as public employees. This is part of the public ethics statute of the state. The other important thing is that my outside activity should not somehow adversely affect my judgment in performing my inside activities as an academic, researcher, teacher, and person who takes part in various collective decision-making regarding academic activities within the state of Florida, within the University of Florida. So basically, the fact that their definition of quote-unquote adverse to the interests of UF vastly extended anything that you might think of as being adverse to the interests of UF. It's dangerous to think that testifying against the state in a voting rights or anti-voting rights lawsuit would then be somehow adverse to the interests of University of Florida. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't fit what was agreed upon. So it was basically against not just the First Amendment rights of these public employees, but it was also against academic freedom. It was against our conflict of interest article. Yeah. It was against everything.
Yeah. Dr. Sitharam, I would point out that the three political science professors who are Daniel Smith, Michael McDonald, and Sharon Austin have testified across the country in various lawsuits. They are acknowledged experts in their fields, and the fact that they had been hired by plaintiffs in a lawsuit, contesting the new voting law in Florida, they had testified before, but they were being chastised and told they couldn't do it in this case. I mean, what changed? Was it a political influence? Were the members of the Board of Trustees trying to put pressure on Dr. Fuchs?
So things have changed, as I started out saying, since about March of 2020, after this new law and trying to police outside activities, there's also been, for example, the refusal of mask mandate or prohibition of mask mandate, or not doing this, not doing things or doing things ostensibly to please higher political powers. Some of them came through direct orders from the state. Some of them seem to be sort of informally communicated or not communicated at all, but just preemptively the university has sort of paid a rush to pay some kind of deference, probably because they're trying to make sure that state funding is not cut. But the fact that you were worried about state funding being cut is itself corruption. And the fact that you preemptively start doing things that the political forces want you to do is ethically corrupt. So I think that all of it essentially adds up to undue influence in what should be a place of free inquiry.
The governor, just for the record, the governor has publicly stated that he has not influenced the university at all, and neither has any of the state departments done so. Do you believe otherwise? Do you have evidence of otherwise? Or are you laying blame squarely at UF's administration?
If there was influence, it's not in the public records. So one way or the other, the UF's administration has to answer. And I would like to add that what you call a reversal is not quite a reversal. What they have done is appointed an internal board consisting of the provost and other administrators handpicked by the administration. So it's like the administration is investigating itself. It doesn't make much sense. I mean, the union has called for an external review and upholding of explicit apologies and upholding of academic freedom, which only then would I call it even a partial reversal.
Yeah.
At the moment, they're trying to make sure that the 24-hour news cycle turns away because they claim it's a reversal.
Yeah. Professor, I know that the United Faculty of Florida, of which you are vice president, issued a statement on Friday that called on the University of Florida, quote, make a clear and unambiguous commitment to academic freedom going forward. Also called for an external review of U.S. practices regarding requests for approval of outside scholarly activities. Is that going to happen?
We're going to keep asking for it. We would hope that the accreditor who's looking at the University of Florida precisely towards figuring out whether there was undue political influence, I hope that they will ensure that there is external review, not just an internal review by those administrators who are potentially culpable in the whole affair.
And also worth it to note that the three professors involved are now also filing their own lawsuits. Dr. Meera Sitharam, good to have you with us today, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.